Hello and welcome to my channel on Google YouTube. This is a Space Panic universal board set sent in by a fellow Clav Killer List of Video Games member for repair. This board set was sent in because it didn't run. It had vertical lines on boot up, and that was it. First thing I had to do was go over the harness that was sent along with this board to rewire some of it to actually get it to work correctly. The wiring diagrams on the internet are actually incorrect. They're not 100%, so I had to figure out the wiring for that, and I think I got that resolved. The EPROMs verified okay for some and corrupt on some of the EPROMs. Reburned EPROM, as you can see, 5, 6, and 7. And number 1 data was really bad, and the chip was, the legs were so bad on it, corroded, that I actually replaced it and reburned it on a brand new EPROM, which is a 2716. However, these are 2516, the old TRS, but my burner will burn all these EPROMs, no problem. So the first thing I looked at, other than that, and there are EPROMs under this soundboard. There's a row of up to 12 under here, and they verified okay also. There are 4 RAM that are located under the soundboard too, which were bad, that I had replaced. And I'll just pull this soundboard off so you can see. There's the other EPROMs, and the socketed RAM actually contained the wrong RAM in the game board. Looking at the schematics, the called for 74LS289 chips. They were incorrect. The RAM 2114 addressed out okay. Went ahead and resocketed those because they always seem to go bad over time. So I just went ahead and pulled them off the board and resocketed them for the customer, make it easier for them later on in case they go bad. 4116s where there's 8 of them on row E. 6 of the 8 were bad, and their pin layout is totally different from other pins. The fact that they have different voltage to them. Anyway, I socketed all the ones that are replaced and left the other 2 alone. They may be replaced later in time, but I don't see too many of these going bad too often. I mean, this board is over 20 years old, so. But getting back to the main items that caused the board to malfunction. So once I replaced the RAM, the board booted up and had working video, but with graphic issues still. The game had moving characters and would coin, but would coin incorrectly, so that was an issue there. And then it had screen graphics of where the player, like the space creatures on the A-track mode screen, were shifted, like a shift register would shift it over. It was floating around and not doing what it was supposed to do. So tracing all this back, I did find that the 74LS00 chip here was bad on row K, and then the LS04 chip here was bad. That controlled the coin counter, and that circuit was bad, so I replaced that circuit. And once I did, that game coined up correctly, but I still had the graphic issues with the characters floating to the side, and a couple of the characters were missing on screen still. But I had gone through all the RAM, so all the sprites and everything were correct. We're just now missing some of the characters on the screen. So, you know, having verified all the EPROMs, I knew it wasn't any of these because these were all verified okay. And I actually, when I verify my EPROMs, I actually verify them 2 ways. I put them in through a hex editor and compare them to the MAME versions of the EPROMs, along with Win Ramadan. I know a bunch of you know what that program is. You can find it on the internet. I keep adding to its database, and soon we'll upload a new database for it. So getting into the culprit chip, controlling graphics characters. Right here, the 74LS241 20 pin IC TTL chip was the culprit. I socketed that, replaced that, and once I did, I now had all of the characters on. So the soundboards, I went ahead and repaired both of them, even though I had two boards in, and one of them has a 10.816 megahertz clock that is the watchdog timer circuit for this board, and it basically disintegrated, and the board won't start up. So really, trying to repair that without not running correctly is really a pain. So if anybody has a spare 10.186 megahertz crystal HC49U variety, please let me know. You can reach me at my email, which is darthaint@comcast.net, and you can let me know how much you would like for one. Or I am trying to get a bunch of them manufactured, so hopefully I can get those manufactured, and maybe I can sell them to some of the online distributors for these boards, because that crystal is a main component of this board, and it is the legs on them are very fragile, as this board actually had one that was starting to separate, but I was able to save it by putting a glob of solder onto the board, and I will add some glue onto this chip here, some like hot glue to hold it down, just so make sure it doesn't move. This was the other crystal. As you can see, the legs on it are like gone, and soldering to the legs on the crystal, it's a pain. So it really it doesn't function the way it should be. So anyway, getting back to this board, so I had the board running, but I didn't have sound. So my test bench it runs on a regular switching power supply, which is, as you know, -5 volts, +5 volts, and 12 volts. Normally board sets take 12 volts for audio, but this board set takes 18 volts, and the funny thing about it is it takes 18 volts and transforms it down to 12 volts. If you test out all the IC integrated circuits and stuff on this sound subboard, they are actually only running at 12 volts. There's nothing over 12 volts, which is weird, because they could have just taken the 12 volt rail off of this board and ran it to this board. However, they ran a sound amplifier, maybe in the machine itself or on the monitor. I don't know what they did. I don't have all that in front of me, so I did a makeshift. I don't have a volume palette installed, but I do have a real low volume, just so you know it's working. I don't have a volume pot, so I can't turn the volume up, but I did hook this up to a power supply that is a variable power supply that is running at well, as you can see there, is putting out 17.9 volts, but it's plus or minus 1%. In this case, it's plus 1% on my voltmeter, so it's actually outputting at 18 volts exactly. So we have this hooked up to the wiring harness over here, and I will power this on. My little bench test here, we'll power this up and watch this game come on. So we'll watch this game as it comes on, and there we go. We'll zoom in a little bit, and as you can see, these characters, 3 characters were missing from that 241. With the 241 before replaced, this would everything would come on screen and run, but it would run at a slight angle, and it wouldn't run correctly, and the coin counter would go from 1 to 99 and wouldn't coin the game. So replacing those 3 IC chips resolved that issue. And as you can see, I will This is my little test bench here. I have a coin. Don't mind the stack of mess here, but this coins up the game, and I'll push that so you can see credits there, and we'll push one player. So I'm holding my camera with one hand, but as you can hear the sound, it's kind of cheesy sound, but that's me running around with the sound, so you can kind of hear that. But anyway, here, and then what you do in this game is you dig a hole for the monster. Oh, and like that, you score points, and then you got to hide from the monsters. And I'm doing this with one hand, so bear with me. And you dig a hole, and if you don't get, see, and you die. But anyway, that's Space Panic, and the colors may look off in this video for some reason, but they are correct on the monitor. That they are like green and light blue and yellow and stuff. I don't know why it looks weird on this view screen finder, but that is the game running. And as you can see, that is a Space Panic repaired, actually. So hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.